call the police, do something, like you gotta cut this shit out. And then it's quiet for a second, for a couple minutes, go by, and I'm just trying to listen for anything. I don't hear nothing. And, just standing in the laundry room, and next thing I hear, it's like this thump on the door, but not from a fist.
Yeah.
And then it happens again and again, and then I see the knife come through the door like the fucking Shining. This bitch is on the other side with the knife, stabbing the door, stabbing, like trying to get me, and I was like, what the fuck? So my name is Mark. From Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm 40 years old, born and raised here, lived all my life here from South Baton Rouge. And 16, I dropped out of high school and decided I wanted to hit the streets. I thought I knew everything, and I didn't. I've learned that the hard way through the journey. So that led into, first partying and going to the bars, and it's all having a blast, and doing this on the weekend. That ecstasy was big, Taz or whatever back at that point in early 2000s. And one thing grew, and what killed me was the Oxycontin when that came out, and. I remember the first time I got that, I was offered that. A friend of mine who's dead today actually overdosed. He was like, man, I got this new pill, take a line of this shit. So he crushed it up and I hit it, and that was all she wrote right there. So that turned immediately into it was like it turned me into a demon right then and there, because it had me in its wraps. Because at that point, you'd sell your soul just to not be sick. Like you have to hit it. You have to get well by any means necessary. So that engulfs your life. And
well, when you took the hit, you're saying that it made you sick not to have it?
It's instantly addictive.
Damn.
So it's every day turned into trying to figure out just a way to get well for that day. So the second your eyes open, it's like, okay, how am I going to make 10, 20, 30, 50 bucks and whatever? I'm going to have to go to Walmart and steal DVDs, or did all kind of great, go to gas stations and ask for dollars and stupid shit like that. But that one, so, it got pretty rough, where I was doing, I had at least $200-300 a day habit. And I was at a party, and a couple of friends of mine, I had walked in on them, and they were shooting up for the first time. They had, my friend had found his dad was diabetic, I think, or something, and he took a couple of them needles. So they were deciding that they was going to try that, and hey, you want to get in on it? I was like, man, fuck all that. I'm not about to do that shit, man. I don't even like needles. I don't want to get blood or whatever.
Yeah. And
he was like, no, just turn your head, bro. Turn your head. So, whatever. I've always been the kind of person that I'm down for whatever. Like, we got hang out, whatever. I just go with the flow. So that's what everybody was doing at that point. I was like, fuck it, whatever. I'm already balls deep in this shit anyway. So, but that's when it got real bad. So, started shooting up daily, obviously, multiple times a day. It was blowing all my veins out. I used to have just sores all over me, everywhere. And so I never, ever shared needles with nobody. But I did reuse my own, multiple times. And I was in probably, it's hard to say rock bottom because I think I hit it so many different times, but rock bottom at that point in my life, I had a little studio apartment in Tigerland, and I was there by myself, And the day before, I had a bunch of dope. I did some hustle. I stole a bunch of money from this dude. Stupid to this day. And that dude, if that dude happens to see this, man, I'm sorry. Real shit. I am not the person I was at that point. So just to put that one out there. But I had a bunch of dope, and I was in the hole by myself, just in this one room apartment, just high as fuck, and ducking in and out, sleeping for 4, 5, 6 hours, wake up and hit something else. And by this point, I was speedballing, so I was mixing coke with it too, which is when your heart's just waiting to explode. But I mixed up this shot that I knew was too much. Like it was real intense, and so I told myself, well, I'm only gonna take half of it. So I'm gonna just shoot the first half. I'm gonna see, because I didn't want to overdose, and you know what I'm saying. I'm by myself. I'm gonna fucking die. So, and all I remember is hitting that vein and pulling it back and seeing the blood go in the syringe, and I just out face first in the bathroom. Yeah, I woke up the next morning, still on the floor with the needle hanging in my arm, half shot in, not really realizing what happened. So I got up and cleaned myself up, whatever. So of course, it's morning time, so I got to get right. So I went straight to that shot that was been sitting in my arm that I already pulled the blood back into the night before.
Dang, man.
So I slammed that, and
so you woke up with the needle still in your arm, and then just straight up finished the shot once you.
I was like, fuck it, I wasn't letting all that dope go to waste. It was a lot of dope, man.
God.
So, but it didn't take long to realize that I fucked up. So it was probably about 3, 4, 5 days at most. After that, I started feeling real sick, real nauseous, real just funny. Like I just couldn't get right, and figured it would just go away. And each day just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I remember I had a gig to go do some valet parking, park some cars with some friends, make a few bucks, and get there, and I'm instantly just like collapsed, and they thought I had the flu or whatever, so they wanted to put me in the back of the car and to just lay down, and I wound up just sleeping in the back of the car the entire shift before they brought me home. And next morning, my dad brought me to the ER, and they looked me over and ran some shit or whatever, did nothing really, told me that I possibly had the flu, and gave me a fucking bottle of Loratabs. Like I really needed that at that point, right. Just because they were really handing that shit out like candy. And so I went back home again. Another couple days passed, and then it started getting to the point to where I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I was just struggling with each breath, and I started pissing on myself like I couldn't even get up. So my dad's like, fuck that, I'm about to take him to my doctor, and we're gonna find out. And he was at an urgent care at that time. So he brought me straight to the urgent care, and as soon as we got in, they took me to take my blood pressure and check my oxygen. Blood oxygen level was at like 61% or some shit like that. So they're like, I immediately called the ambulance. So they came, got me, went to the hospital, and get to the hospital. I remember getting to the hospital, and I remember first coming in, and I pissed all over myself, and I was telling the nurse, like begging this nurse, like, can you please give me something? You know, because I felt stupid as fuck, but then I blacked back out at that point. And then the next memory I have is I'm standing in the hallway in the hospital, in the gown, next to my dad and the doctor, and the doctor's telling him, you know, maybe you should call family, you know what I'm saying? He's probably not gonna make it through the night. And I'm like, fuck you mean I ain't gonna make it through the night? Like, I'm fine, but I'm standing right here, and I'm hollering and yelling, and they not moving. I'm like, what the fuck? and then it was like black again after that. And then I spent, I think it was like 6 days in the ICU. Was in a coma for 3 or 4 of those. I really didn't think I was gonna make it. So bacteria got into my heart and into my lungs and gave me endocarditis. So they had to take all my blood out. I can't remember if it was 9 or 10 bags. I think it was 1 bag less than the body holds. So they basically had to drain every ounce of my blood out of my body and replace it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't until a few weeks later, I spent 3.5 months in the hospital in total, but sitting there with my dad and kind of laughing around at this time. And I was like, man, I knew that doctor was full of shit anyway. He was like, what doctor? I said, the fucking first doctor that said I wasn't gonna make it through the night. And his face went white. And he was like, what you mean? And I told him the same story. And he was like, Mark, you was in a coma. That was, you literally had a breathing tube down your throat. Like, how in the fuck did you have known that? I said, I'm telling you, I was right there. So that was one of the times I died, I guess, and came back. Oh, I forgot, I got hit by a train many years before that too. I thought. That's so much shit. That's why, like, when I started writing, like, it just started coming out everywhere. Like, I forgot what shit happened to me. I was so high all the time, like, I just suppressed it.
I hear that kind of frequently, man. That as you do these drugs and you're living, you're blacking in and out. You don't remember a lot.
It's just kind of flashes.
Yeah.
And you don't remember it in total, but like once I sit down and I guess I was saying earlier, kind of blast or curse that photographic memory. And you start thinking about something that's playing back like a movie, and then you start remembering this and that. But yeah, I got hit by a train in 2004, going over some train tracks, and they didn't have the crossbars or whatever, and smoked me on the driver's side too. I heard the train whistle in my dreams for 2-3 years after that shit. But I walked out without a scratch. Not a scratch. So it hit me on the front. The driver's side front tire, and that left front tire was touching the right front tire, smashed the whole front end, and it spun me in a ditch. But when it hit me, it like threw me into the back seat or something, which saved me. So I'm coming out like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? There's a whole train, like, somebody runs up there, like, somebody got hit by a train. I said, yeah, it was me. And they're like, what the fuck? What do you mean it was you?
Right, yeah.
And then I ended up getting a ticket. They gave me a ticket for failing to yield to a train. Like, fucking asshole, man. Like,
wow, man.
But
it's a miracle you're alive. Here's the ticket.
That was in 2004, and then that was 2011 when I was in the hospital. For that one, and coming out the hospital, at that point, spending those 3.5 months in the hospital and getting sober, they got me on Suboxone, and clearing my head for that time, thinking back on it was a good memory for me, but I was afraid to get out. You know what I mean? Like I could have stayed in that hospital for a fucking year. It didn't bother me. It's like having room service, pick up the phone, you bring me a cheeseburger, everything you need right in front of you. It was fun, but I knew that if I got out, as soon as I got released or whatever and went home, that I was probably gonna do something. And that's exactly what I did. I think I made it 2 days, I think, 2 or 3. And I went straight back to it. But at this point, I'm already had made the decision that I wanted to get my shit together, and I was just in that battle now of trying to fight to get my shit together. But those demons were still in my back. So around 2012, that's when I met my ex-wife. And so I met her on fucking plentyoffish.com, which at that time, it just had come out. Brand new thing, and it wasn't all scams and bullshit and fake ass people. But she sent me a message, whatever, and wound up talking. We went and met, and she was working at this place, a little deli or whatever. I was going up there seeing her and shit and trying to stunt and bringing her shit. And she said something about some Lortab, so I went and bought a bunch of pills and shit and of course, brought it to her or whatever, trying to finesse with the fucking pill. But I should have known right there. I'm already fucking with bitches,
Right.
That's
my pill.
Should have known right then and there, thinking back on it. But anyway, so she, of course, was like, yeah, fuck around, I'm gonna take the free pills. And, that was all she wrote from there. So we moved in immediately within the first month. We were living together. And she had 2 kids. It was like a 4 or 5 year old and like an 8 or 9 month old or something. She had come from North Carolina, from here, but she was living in North Carolina with another dude and had his baby, but then he cheated or allegedly cheated on her or whatever, and she came, fled back to BR or whatever this time. So I ain't never been around no kids. I've been in the streets fucking shooting dope on my arm, but this for years, like I'm not ready for all of this, but so she wound up calling the dude's family or whatever and told him to come get the baby for a little bit while she got the shit together. And her older one sent him to her sisters. So she's an identical twin. And they're fucking both the evilest people I think I've ever met in my life. But sent both the kids off, so now it's just me and her in the house. So she's working, waiting tables at this point, and she just every night, she just wants to get dope, and she's just blowing all her money, and I ain't want that shit at that point. You know what I mean? Like fuck it, I'd rather go buy some subs, because at that time I could buy her like $10 or whatever. I'd rather go spend $10, $20 on a couple subs and get well than go just continue the cycle.
Yeah.
But she didn't. She just kept going, and I could never tell her no. So, and she wanted to try shooting up, and I kept, man, that's not a good idea. I'm telling you, it's not the road you wanted. The second you do that, the shit is over with,
Yeah.
But she was adamant, so did it, whatever. So immediately started to spiral into the same shit again, but I was like, fuck that, I'm not doing this, and I immediately had stopped it. I was like, we're gonna do the right thing. So we decided to clean up whatever and then go get us a new place. This is about 6 months in, up the street, and start over. Okay, cool. Well, we wound up getting engaged or whatever, and we got married within that same year. So I met her, moved in, and got married to her in less than a year, because I met her April that year and we got married in December. And her brother at the wedding, who was my best man, the whole time was like, bro, don't fucking do it. I'm telling you, don't fucking do it. Do not marry my sister. She's a crazy bitch. Don't do it. And then her dad was telling me the same shit. But when she married me, she'd already been married 3 times, I think. Yeah, 3 or 4. I don't even remember.
Oh man.
So we got married anyways, because she was hot, bro. She was fucking crazy. She was hot as fuck. She was, but she was fucking crazy, and that's what sometimes you make that trade-off. And crazy as she would get, she just gets so violent and so angry because she had past relationship where a dude used to beat the fuck out of her. And I never, ever put my hands on a female. My grandmother raised me that way, and that's just how I've always been.
Yeah.
But from jump, her temper was real bad.
Yeah.
It was about 6 months in when she broke my nose the first time. So that turned into a daily, weekly thing, and
of her abusing you, physically?
Oh yeah, fuck. She broke my nose, blacked my eyes dozens and dozens of times, and she had a bunch of mental illnesses I didn't know about at the time that she was diagnosed with when she was younger, but didn't believe that she really had, so trying to keep a secret from me. But really, she was diagnosed schizophrenic, borderline, bipolar, something else, I forget. So the drugs really started to take a hold of her, and I noticed that she's hallucinating all the fucking time. Like she's always like tripping and like thinking things is going on, and that turned into thinking that I was cheating on her, I was talking to another girl. So she starts getting obsessed with this shit, and it's just day after day after day, and it would be, and she like a light switch, and she can just turn it off, and like it never happened. She don't even remember it. She can break my nose the night before, and then the next morning, like waking me up with breakfast, and not even say anything about it. It was just, thinking back on it, was a fucking traumatic ass situation, but
she was
so she's getting aggressive, she's crazy as fuck, and so I was thinking I'm cheating on her, and we're going down the road, she's yelling at me in the car, and telling me she's talking to some girl, but see, she always had these insecurities from jump, and it all started with I got an email in my spam folder from a porn site, which who the fuck does not get emails from a porn site in their spam folder? I'm sure you can't tell me. There's every single soul on the planet gets those.
Right,
but that's what started that argument. And she took her fucking high heels off. She always wore like 6-inch heels, and she started hitting me in the side of the head with the shit while I'm driving down the road. I'm like, you crazy bitch! I'm trying to grab her hand, you know. She ended up jumping out the car before I even stopped the shit, and went and flagged somebody down, because she was she was famous for this, because she did this to me multiple times, because she was hot as fuck, and she'd be hot as fuck on the side of the road in distress. They stopped every fucking time. So she got in the next car and gone. I'm like, motherfucker. So like I said, she did that to me dozens of times. But then it was a lot of years of abuse. But then my daughter came in 2014.
With her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And things were, like when she got pregnant, everything was cool, you know what I mean? Like she didn't have the mental illness, everything was fine. Like the drugs stopped, obviously, because she was pregnant. And then, we painting nurseries and reading baby books, and everything's lovely. Yeah. But then as soon as she had her, even that first night in the hospital, she didn't want to hold her. But after we had her, she started getting real fucked up again. And, I immediately recognized what it was. So that went on for a good little while. And then we wound up getting another house right outside of town, and we were living there, and it was way on, kind of out in the country, so it was away from everybody, so it really isolated us, and that was worst case scenario, because it's just me and her and the baby in the middle of the country, and she's batshit crazy, you know what I mean? Like, and on drugs, it just was getting worse and worse. So same argument, same story, over and over again. She's breaking every fucking thing in the house. And so it's to the point to where like she's hallucinating so bad, she thinks I got a girl in the attic and shit. She's up there searching. Like she thought she's seeing people out the window type shit. And then she got this notion that I must have a second cell phone, because she done went through my phone for fucking years and whatever. So and the only place that I could possibly hide it would be in that truck somewhere, in my truck. So she goes outside and starts ripping that bitch apart. I mean, everything, pulling all the fucking dashboard down. I mean, had the whole thing out. Was out there for about a day and a half, destroyed it, slashed the tire. It was brand new at the time, 2015 Ram, and she ripped the whole fucking dashboard out, looking for a phone that never existed. But that was when it started to really hit a turning point. So she was, on this point, on Adderall, real bad, because she always thought that she was fat, and it was always just, I'm fucking fat, and I'm fat. Bitch, you ain't fat, you fucking hot, shut up. But she's always whatever. And then she take the Adderall and then not sleep. And then to be okay that first day and clean the house and all is cool, and then not sleep, and then that second day, and no sleep, and this things start happening. And then the third day, she ain't got no sleep. Now she really starting to see shit. And now when you get a weekend, you talking about it, there's no reasoning with somebody at that point, especially when you're sober too. And I'm trying to keep my daughter away from all of this stuff,
Yeah.
But obviously, like I said, the house was destroyed. It smashed every TV, every fucking doors hanging off the things. Like holes in the wall where she just been beating the fuck out of me the whole time. Because I ain't gonna put my hands on her. But so that culminated to, I don't even remember what the argument started in that exact moment was, but she was so fucking mad, and she grabbed the knife that was on the counter, and I look in her eyes and shit, like I knew to get the fuck away from her, like that she wasn't fucking playing in that moment. So I took off and ran to the laundry room, slammed the door, and I got my back to the door, and she beating on the other side of the door, like trying to rip the bitch off the wall. And she was a tiny little thing too, you know what I mean? And of course, big old guy, so I'm holding the door up. Yeah. And she's beating and banging and hollering, and I'm like, I'm gonna call the police, do something, like you gotta cut this shit out. And then it's quiet for a second, for a couple minutes, go by, and I'm just trying to listen for anything. I don't hear nothing. And just standing in the laundry room, and next thing I hear, it's like this thump on the door, but not from a fist. Yeah. And then it happens again and again, and then I see the knife come through the door like the fucking Shining. This bitch is on the other side with the knife, stabbing the door, like trying to get me, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, this has hit a whole new level of like, holy shit, I need to call somebody. But I didn't have no phone because she took the phone and bust every phone in the house and slashed the tires on the truck. Like I really was stuck at this point. Oh man! So
horror movie at this point.
She's stabbing through the door like fucking like the Shining, the real shit, and she's just going and going, and she's making some headway, but she stabbed it in too deep and it got stuck, and she could not get it out. So I seized that moment, swung the door open, and just went to put her in a bear hug, like, fucking, you gotta calm down, you know what I mean? Like, you about to fucking kill me. Yeah. So I come out there, she fighting me the whole time, and she had a chain around my neck, and she snatched that chain off my neck, and she used it like a whip, and it was that, I think it's like Figaro, what they call it, that certain design of the chain that was imprinted on the side of my face. But she hit me with that bitch so hard, like I had to catch myself, and she used that moment to grab another knife off the counter. So I seen that, and then just the way that house was positioned, I had to go around and cut the corner to get to the bedroom. Yeah. So I went to cut the corner, but I was just in my socks, and I kind of slipped a little bit, and then I felt like this little burning pain in my back. Like I knew, because she was coming at me, like I knew she stuck me, but I thought she just like caught me with the tip at that point, and I just take off, and I get in the room, and I run to the closet and shut the door, and then of course she's right on the other side beating on it just like before. But I started to feel something, like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And I went to touch the side of my leg, and I looked, and it's all covered in blood. And then I looked down and realized, like, my whole leg like was covered in blood. I'm like, holy fuck, you stabbed me. So I'm yelling through the door, like, you fucking stabbed me, like, what the fuck? And immediately I can hear a tone, like that light switch flipped off, went from anger to holy shit, what'd I do? Yeah. So I opened the door and just collapsed onto the floor in the bathroom, and I'm laying there, and fucking blood starts pooling around me and shit. Jeez. And I'm like, it was a panic in me that I hope to God I don't ever feel, but I knew that was probably the most frightening moment of my life, right, laying there thinking that was it. And so I'm bleeding, and I'm yelling at her like, man, call 911, like, I'm fucking dying, bitch, you stabbed me, what is the matter with you? And she's just, oh my God, what am I gonna, oh my God, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And so she winds up calling some dude she got a number from the gas station to come pick her up or some shit, and he told her, fuck you, I ain't coming. So she was stuck, but we didn't have no phones to call. anybody because she done smashed all the phones. Can't go nowhere because she done ripped the thing. So I just laid on the floor holding pressure on my side while she ran around stressing out for an hour or two. And I was able to.
You were laying there that long?
Yeah, in the blood. It was starting to dry on me. But
wow. With your
all right, yeah. So 2016 that comes up, and in 2016, you know, they had the flood happen.
Yeah. So
at this time, you know, that's after we married and after we had my daughter, whatever. About a year after that, you know, they family had a bunch of property, and it was like this family road. Everybody lived on the same house or same road, different houses. So they gave us one to stay in. So we stand back there, and life is all lovely and whatever. And I was working for Dad at the time, but it was worst, shittiest work. Like literally digging ditches for $8 an hour or whatever. I'm like, fuck all that. I got to do something. So at this point, I've been picking up some skills over the years, and I was like, I could do this shit from my own, man. So I went to Craigslist, and I put an ad on Craigslist. Half off handyman shit, construction, whatever. And within like the next day, I got a call from this lady, and she had some little screened-in thing or whatever wanted to do, whatever, and I did it. Wound up making like a couple grand in the weekend. So I'm like, oh fuck, that's it. I'm good. Now I done found the hustle.
That's the only boost you need.
I found the hustle, so I quit immediately, and I went into that full time, and it was, it was going lovely. And then, like I said, the flood happened in 2016, and so where we were at the time, people's not really. I mean, I knew it was coming, and I knew it was bad, or gonna be bad, but I didn't really know it was gonna be like that. So I remember waking up, and I walked out onto the porch, and the fucking water was probably 20 foot from the house. Now, there ain't no water, hundreds of feet from it. Like, we're like, holy shit. So I immediately, I told her, get the baby, let's go, get in the truck, come on. So I threw him in the truck, and we take off down the road, literally water up, almost above the windows. But I'm just going, and the truck makes it through, and get to the other side. And I said, I got to go back. We got too much shit, So take the truck, I'm going back. So I gave her the truck. She took off.
You went back on foot?
And I went back on foot. And I regretted that one.
Oh, man.
So I made it. I didn't make it very far before somebody in a boat had come up, a little small. So he was like, man, I can take you, because I was only a mile from the house, whatever. But he's like, I can take you this far, whatever. Cool. Yeah. So he takes me far enough down and to where I'm in waist deep water, basically. So I get out, and I get up close to the gravel driveway that we had, but it's this point, just the mailboxes was just barely still showing. Yeah. So, and my house is the last one, all the way in the back. So I'm wading through the water, and I'm getting in the house, and it's chest high at this point. But our house was lifted off the ground, on pillars, so it hadn't gotten into the house yet. So I make it to the porch, and I get in, and I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do now? Because I'm literally, I'm on the porch, I'm by myself.
You ain't about to bring furniture back out the house.
It's a whole ocean around me, like.
Oh man.
So I start running and trying to do everything I can and get all baby pictures and important shit and toss them in the attic and just whatever I could salvage as fast as I could. And then that water started coming up over the porch, and then it's over the door, and then it's in the house, and before I knew it, I was probably about ankle deep in water in the house. And I was like, fuck, I can't get out of here. Like, I'm gonna have to call. Yeah. So I called 911, feeling like an asshole. And I was like, I remember telling the lady at 911, I was like, look, I'm sorry. I know this is fucking stupid, but could somebody come and get me? It's funny. It's not funny, but it's funny.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Next thing I know is helicopters flying over the house and all that shit, and I see the police boat pull up, by where the mailboxes was. It was probably a couple hundred feet away, but they couldn't get their boats down or to the house all the way or something like that. So they sent a swimmer from the mailboxes to come and swim all the way to my house and put a life jacket on me or whatever. And then he swam with me back to the boat. And yeah, they wound up taking me down the way. The water came up and it picked the house up off the pillars and it just moved it a few feet, over.
Yeah.
So it was a total loss.
Oh man.
Total loss. But I just started this handyman thing a couple weeks before that, and it was gaining some traction, whatever. But the next day, my phone was blowing up. Like I had people calling, because I started to add up. Like it got to the point to where it was just ringing off the hook, and I went literally overnight from a handyman to I was booking $10,000, $20,000 jobs. Like shit was going up. So business was really good, and I had some friends that used to work with me at some other jobs, and I brought them in with me, and they, we was working together and knocked out a couple real big jobs and made a bunch of money really quick. Yeah. And I put it all right back into business and took my truck, my brand new fancy truck, and went and had it wrapped in graphics and put rims on it. Just everything's lovely.
Yeah.
Christmas time, full of gifts, everything's fantastic. But I didn't know at the time. So at this point, I have 4 jobs going on, and each one of them is 20 to 50 grand worth of renovation. I mean, it's my whole home renovations. Yeah. And I had 4 crews working, and everything was working just as good as it always had been. And I had brought in this other crew from Mississippi. Man, it was real shady fucking dudes, but they had a good price. And I didn't have nobody at the time, so they started working for me. And then I noticed they was on the slick trying to steal some business, like, I'll come over here on the weekend and do this for you for less, kind of type of thing. And I had ordered a sample pack of some business cards from online. And it came, it was like 3 or 4 each different version, 4 or 5 versions. And one of those versions, it was just, I just got ordered the templates, it just had my name on it, whatever. It said licensed, bonded, and insured. Well, I never ordered any of those cars, but that little pack or whatever was in my middle console. Yeah. So somehow they looked it up, whatever. They figured out that I wasn't a licensed contractor. Now that at this point, I didn't even know you had to have a license, because apparently in the state of Louisiana, you can't legally take a job over $7,500. It was the limit without a license. So I'm taking these big renovations on. Yeah. So they figured that out, and then they go and tell my client. Now at this point, we 6-7 weeks into a job, a $50,000 job that they put 25 grand down on with all the materials, but all the materials was already there, and 2 months plus, or almost 2 months worth of labor had already been done. Yeah. So they went and told her I wasn't licensed, and that they'd finish the job for 10 grand. Now she could just pocket that other 15.
So the people that
I found all this out later.
People that you had employed, they were the ones that were. Yeah,
that wound up coming out later out in court. But next thing I know, I was getting a knock at the door. And it was like right before dark. I was at home, about to eat dinner. I'm like, who the fuck is that? And I open the door, and it's just my client, it's this lady. And she immediately starts, I'm like, what the fuck is you doing in my house? And she's screaming at me. And she's like, you fucking scam me, blah. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And you don't have a license. I'm like, well, yeah, I do. And at the time, I had my business license, because I did all the paperwork. I made the LLC. I did everything I thought I was supposed to do. Yeah. But I didn't go to the contractor board and get that particular one, which is what I needed, I guess. So she was like, I want 100% refund. 100%. 100%. I want every dollar back that's already been spent. How the fuck am I supposed to do that? Half the job's already done. So she got pissed off and she got the names and addresses of my other 3 clients from that crew that was working for me. She went around to all of them, and told them that I didn't have a license. And the next thing I know, like, I'm getting these calls, and the fucking news is calling me wanting to do an interview because at the time, are you from here?
Yeah.
You remember when that guy that scammed everybody? Like,
I think it was a black dude who was
this white dude. He's like, it was like millions. Like, he'd scammed this one church out of like $1 million alone. Like, it was.
Oh man, I don't know about that. I know about black contractors.
He still, it should be. I'm pretty sure he's still locked up. I think he got 30 or 40 years out of it. But I'm talking about like millions. So he was being crucified in the news at this point.
Yeah.
And then this happens with me.
Oh, man.
So now I'm the next bad guy, and like, what the fuck you want me to do? They all wanted their money back, and I'm all the way half deep in all of these jobs. Like, I can't give you all your money back. Your materials are sitting here. I've been paying employees that's been working in your house for weeks.
Yeah.
But that fucking business card, because I guess I had given it out to somebody, not even realizing.
Yeah.
And whenever the news article came out, and they were asking if anybody else had ever seen me, if I did any other jobs, like they wanted to talk to them or whatever. And somebody had called and just said that I went and I did a bid for them. I just went and looked or whatever, and I left them with that fucking card that said licensed, bonded, and insured.
Oh, shit.
So by the time all of this had come out in court, I would have beat everything. But because of that was proof that I guess, whatever, I cut the deal. So when they arrested me on 4 counts of contractor fraud, 4 counts of theft, 4 counts of, I don't even remember. There was 2 counts because 2 of the clients was over 65, so it was like scamming the elderly. Like, I mean, they hit me with fucking, I had $1 million bond. It was 11 or 12 felonies they arrested me on.
Wow.
So, $1 million bond, and in 2010, I missed this one too. In 2010, I had got arrested for theft, and I copped out to a felony and was on probation. But by this point, I had long absconded and whatever, and had a warrant out for my arrest. So as soon as I got locked up, holding on me. So this big $1 million bond, I knew I ain't going nowhere. I got the probation hold on me, like I'm fucked. I'm stuck. My name is destroyed. There's all these articles coming out in the paper and on the news, and they saying all this shit, and I'm sounding like a monster because you know, it's like scamming the elderly and like what the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, it was just this horrific stuff and lies. Actual lies.
So all they're thinking is that you were just outright stealing their money, but here it is, you were actually doing the work. It's just this
100%.
Business license.
100%. So at the end of the day, I wound up pleading out just the 1 count because of that business card. I'd have beat the whole case.
Oh, okay.
Had I wouldn't had given that one person that fucking sample business card.
Because that was like telling them that you were licensed and you did that.
So, but I had fought the case the whole time, all the way through jail. So it was 2 years I had in prison, and I was suspended probation, whatever. So a few months into jail, they wound up giving me that time back. So I'm serving that as I'm fighting the whole thing. So I was in jail the whole time I was fighting that. But went to East Baton Rouge Parish Prison first. I had been there before. Central booking. I know the smell. I know the sounds. It's not a place you ever want to be. Throw me in the tank. I'm just like, fuck. Man, not again, bro. You know what I mean? Like, son of a bitch, I can't ever catch a break in life. It's like, why does everything always happen? And it's not even like my fault. I mean, it is, and I take my own responsibility and accountability for everything. And I made mistakes, and I should have did my own research and should have did better, 100%. And but it's always something that kept me. But
I know the feeling, man.
So I started out there, and because I had that $1 million bond, so they don't necessarily, they claim anyways, that they don't really separate inmates, but they got an EBR prison, they got the old side and the new side, which it's all fucking old and run down anyways. But the old side is like the dungeon, like it's the shit, it's like the oldest, deep, dark, singular, exactly what you think a jail cell would be. That's what it is. Like, it is the dungeon, and that's where they put the high profile murderers. The worst of the worst. And here I got to go on that side now because I'm considered a high risk because of my bond. So I'm on a count of contractor fraud, and my cellie right at the beginning. This dude's on first degree murder, and I'm what I mean, like
ain't got nothing in common like that,
It was, thinking back on it, I mean, that's really negligent on their part, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because you put me in that situation to where that man got nothing to lose, you know what I mean? Like, he wound up getting convicted while we was cellies together and got sent off and went to Angola. Like, he could have came back and, flashed out that night because fuck what he got to lose.
Right.
And then I got everything in the world to lose. But fortunately for me, I don't know if I necessarily call myself a people person or whatever, but
you was able to at least deal with it.
Everybody's always comfortable around me. I've been like that all my life. Like, I'm cool with everybody, and I'm just I don't know if it's my vibe or whatever, but everybody always seems to kind of accept me to some degree. So, of course, I'm the only white boy, and it was 12 to a cell at that one. And a long guy used to being the only white dude, but it never was a problem. You know what I mean? Like, from day one, like I never really got fucked with in jail. There was a lot of really fucked up things that happened, and I seen a lot of really rough stuff. But like, to me personally, like, I didn't have to go in and prove myself and start fighting, and they wasn't stealing my shit all out the gate. Everything was cool, but you still got to keep it kosher and respectful, and as long as you excuse me's and all of that shit and mind your business and shut the fuck up, you're gonna be all right. So at this point, I know I'm stuck. I'm calling Janelle on the phone, and it was immediately we missed each other so much. It's like it fixed our relationship, but it didn't, because it cut out all of that crazy shit, and it was just us on the phone. And that was the big part of what got me through in the beginning, at least anyway. She's sending me letters with perfume on and all of that shit, and pictures of us and all. So I think it was a month or two or something like that, and I'm waiting on transfer. They try to get you in and they're gonna ship you out to the next camp. So it got to be. I knew I was about to get transferred. And it's either gonna go to Catahoula or you're gonna go to Riverbend. And Riverbend is where you don't want to go, or at least that's what everybody was saying at the time, because they bird feed you. But always say, and they really do. Lucky me, I got to go to Riverbend. So get to Riverbend, which is hours. It's literally on the state line, Arkansas. So it was like 6 hours up north or whatever after this horrific bus ride. Get to Riverbend, and they, in EBR, you're in the orange jumpsuits, but now they fucking just like back in the day, it's black and white stripes. So they put you in the black and white stripes, and it's like the nighttime at this point, and they got the ankle chains on and all that shit, and we all tied together, and they marching us across the field to get to the dorm. We all years of chains rattling and shit, trying to like scuffle along, and literally the only white dude in the fucking line too. But at this point, it wasn't even. I mean, I say that not to recognize race, but it just. It is what it is, you know what I mean? So
I got you, bro.
So we get in, and they sit us all down in the chow hall, and here come the CO. This big Fruit Loop dude that just loved his job, but was the biggest asshole, and he didn't give a fuck, and he talked like a queen, but you knew that was his house. He ran that shit. Yeah. So he come in and regulating and laying down all that rules, and we'll beat the fuck out you, and all of that shit. And I believe they would. I found out later they absolutely would, but. So they started trying to figure out, where we're gonna go or whatever, and I tell them I'm gonna be in D dorm. So start marching us down this hallway, and you stop at A dorm, and then they let them dudes in, and you could see everybody inside, just big warehouse, and everybody screaming and hollering and cursing, just heart beating out of your fucking chest, but you gotta be stoic, you know what I mean? Stone cold face. B dorm, they let them in C dorm and get to D dorm. Now the whole time in the chow hall, all I'm hearing, D dorm, his nickname is the dungeon. So of course, where the fuck am I gonna go? I'm gonna go to the dungeon. I'm gonna go to the worst one. I went to the worst side with everybody else, and now here I am again. Now my last name starts with a W, so I'm always last. I always have been. And they open the door and. Immediately just hit you, you know what I'm saying? This big, huge 100-man dorm, it's big warehouse, and just steel bunks. Not no privacy, just a madhouse. Everybody screaming. 100-man dorm, and it was 96 black and 4 white. I was one of the 4 white boys. Wow. So, and then I'm a big dude at that. So,
kind of standing up.
So walking in. Immediately, like I'm lit up, like I stand out, like a motherfucker. So, but my face is stone cold, and we walking, and Garcia, whatever, is calling out bunks, and it finally gets to me, and we're at the back corner, what they call a cut in jail, because that's where the blind spot is. That's where the cameras don't see. That's where they go handle business, whatever. Yeah. And it's like 25, 30 dudes and shit, and they all sitting around like just. Some of the hardest motherfuckers you ever see, and a lot of bitch ass dudes too, but definitely people you don't want to, you wouldn't bring to your house to meet your mama. In other words, you know what I mean? So, and they mugging the fuck out of me, whatever, and stone cold face. Guard tells me top bunk corner on top of all these 30 dudes. So fuck. I literally every time get whatever, fuck it, I'm in this bitch. I ain't care. That's just I've always been my outlook. So CO walks off, and then instantly I'm like surrounded, like on all sides, like what's up, white boy? Let me get them socks and all this shit. And like, where the fuck you from? I stuck my chest out. I was like, I'm from South Baton Rouge. They were like, what? Like, South Baton Rouge? Yeah, you motherfucking right, South Baton Rouge. Went to Lee High School. Fuck you. Yeah. Luckily, they was from South Baton Rouge, so they started, asking some questions and shit and grilling me, so and so, whatever. And then I heard a name sound like a miracle. Just call him T, and I was like, motherfucking right, I know T. I used to work with T. Back in the day, we used to wash dishes. That's my dog, bro. And he was too. Like, we was real tight back then. It'd been about a year at this point. I hadn't seen him. And they're like, all right. So they kind of backed up, whatever, and I put my shit down. Man, at this point, I've been chained up and going through bus ride. I'm like, I just want to fucking shower and something to eat. So I go take a shower, and I come out the shower, and the main dude, which, and nobody says that's the main dude, but that's the fucking main dude, you know what I mean? Like, he steps like right to me and he's like, hey man, look, come holler at me real quick. So now I know, like, this is it. This is the moment. This is whatever's about to happen is about to happen right now. So I was like, fuck it. And I stuck my chest out and smiled. I said, yes sir, you can, let's go, come on. And we walked back in the cut, and everybody's not looking, but they looking, you know, quiet and shit. And he kind of leaned in and he was like, I just got off the phone with T. He said he fucked with you, like tough, real tough, which he said it twice, you know what I mean? And that really kind of meant something. And I found out later that that was T's brother. So he had went and called and I was saved and he vouched for me. Like he remembered me, yeah, that's my boy, you take care of him, like. It was cool. So it immediately, like jail starter pack, you know, there's some cigarettes and deodorant and everything you need. Like I was accepted. I was in.
Dang.
Like I was saved. Like you know, I thought I was about to die. Like I didn't know what the fuck was about to happen. It was either one or the other. I knew they was going to call because I seen them walking to the phones. But I was just praying they was actually going to get in touch with them. Yeah. And thank God they did, and they looked out for me.
That's cool, man.
For that time. So that first night, I'd already seen somebody get stabbed. Shit was already real. After the lights went out, first thing you hear is like, I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? Like you can hear it like all over the dorm randomly. And I'm trying to look around without really looking around. And I realized it's dudes taking little pieces of metal and shit and scraping it on the concrete, trying to like make shanks and shit. And I'm like, man, I'm in a whole other world now. Like this shit's about to get real. So I was only there, fortunately, for about 6 months in total. And the first couple of months, nothing really. I seen a lot of fucked up shit, like I said, but it didn't really happen to me. But the thing about jail and prison is the dorms can flip at any day. So you get comfortable with everybody that's in there. You kind of start to learn to live with each other, and people come and go, and somebody new come in. It might be alpha dog that flips, and the dorm flip, and this was at the very end of it. So I go get commissary like I normally do. I ain't have very much. My dad sent me $10-20 here, there, whatever.
That was after this though. That was after Riverbend.
Yes.
Okay.
So
how much time did you spend in Riverbend?
It was about a year, but it got real cool because I got on trustee and I was working in the kitchen and had to hook up, and it's up in the country, so the dudes is cousins, the guard or whatever, and bringing in chicken and fucking Playboys and everything's lovely. So it was a cool little time there for a minute. Okay. But then when I eventually was given my time, whatever, and went to prison, DOC, that was a whole another world. Because when you're in jail, it's still that glimmer of hope, I guess. And it's a very dangerous environment. Don't get me wrong, but it's a whole different level of danger in there.
Prison, it seems like you have to sit in, like you're more forgotten.
My first day in there, I seen somebody get stabbed. Within like the first hour I was in the dorm. Like I still remember the smell of the blood. They had a child SA, dude came in, and they fucked that dude over big time. They shoved the mop handle up his ass. Like,
really?
I'm pretty sure he's dead too. I don't think he made it. Like they fucked that dude up. Like they broke that bitch off in his asshole, and when they took him out of there on the stretcher, it's sticking up, like real shit.
Jeez.
Like.
And that was okay. So
that's in the DOC. Now we in the real prison. Right. And at this point in my life, now I'm with my ex-sister-in-law, some real country shit, but I love her to death. And now I got to figure myself out. I'm convicted felon. What am I gonna do? I can't get a job nowhere. I'm disabled. So I'm doing everything I can, every hustle, drop shipping, door dashing, and just anything I can do to make money. So, and then I come up with this idea to start writing and trying to put myself out there and start, trying to make videos, telling my stories and shit. But it never really was gaining any traction for a little bit until this new website, Substack, came out. And I was like, well, ain't nobody ever gonna read my stuff, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's safe, because I would have never posted nothing like that just out there anywhere else. And displays, who's really gonna read my shit, you know? So I posted a couple of my stories, and immediately got a bunch of real positive feedback. And I was like, man, this feels good, you know? And it started really, it was giving me that purpose again in life, you know? So I wrote this story, and I'm gonna read it, and then I'm gonna tell you about the comment I got on it. So it's called "I Died 6 Times, Almost. I'm Not Healed, I'm Healing." I survived being hit by a train, overdosed 3 times, flatlining in a hospital bed, and being stabbed by someone I once loved. But survival isn't the same as healing, and healing isn't easy. You're not weak for still struggling. You're strong for still standing. I'm not healed, I'm healing. Let's start with what's real. I still wake up some days and have to fight just to breathe. Some days I'm strong, other days I'm faking it. But I'm still here, and that alone means something. A timeline of survival and what it took from me. Let me walk you through the fire. Not just what I survived, but what I've had to carry. In 2004, hit by a train at 19. I was hit on the driver's side of my car. I walked away with some scratches and a bottle of Percocets. That bottle lit that match. What it did to me. I didn't just survive, I disappeared. That moment became the door into years of opioid addiction, theft, and prison. I thought I was invincible. Instead, I became invisible. 2007, 9, and 11, I overdosed. 3 overdoses. 3 moments I lost consciousness, chasing silence and pain relief. I didn't want to die. I just didn't want to exist like that anymore. What it did to me. It stripped me of my self-worth. I stopped believing that I mattered, and I became a shadow of myself. In 2011, flatlined in the ICU. I had endocarditis, an infection in my heart from a dirty needle. And I flatlined and came back and spent 3 months in the hospital. What that did to me. It made me want to live. It also showed me how far gone I was. I felt lost in my own body, ashamed, but something inside me stirred. In 2019, I was stabbed in the back by my mother of my child. I was trying. I had a daughter, a relationship, a fragile foundation. But one night, in a fit of rage, a woman I once loved stabbed me with a 5-inch blade in the lower back. What that did to me, it shattered the illusion. It showed me how trauma cycles repeat. It forced me to escape from my life and from my daughter. It taught me to stop mistaking pain for love. What that all did to me, these weren't just bad events. They rewired me. They taught me not to trust, not to feel, not to believe that I was worth anything anymore in survival. But I've spent every day since then unlearning these lies. What faith means after all of that. People throw the word around, but people throw the word around faith. But for me, faith isn't a word, it's proof. Faith is knowing, like you know the sky is blue, that God's got me. Even when I feel alone, even when I don't understand the pain, He didn't bring me through all this shit just to drop me off here. I still struggle. I don't write this as someone who's arrived. I still struggle, still get triggered, still feel shame, try to claw back. It tries to claw its way back. But I don't let it win. I fight back. And that is what healing is. Healing isn't about being perfect. It's about refusing to give up on yourself, even when it hurts. What healing really looks like. Healing is crying in the car, but still showing up for your family. Reaching for breath instead of a bottle or a needle. Loving kids when you need to be consistent. Choosing peace when your whole body wants to explode. Apologizing, growing, staying. last part kind of gives me.
Take your time.
It's being the dad I never had. It's becoming the man my grandfather always hoped I'd be. Damn, I don't know why this one fucking with me this much this time, man. It's raising my daughter and my stepchildren with heart, protection, and purpose. Even though that their father isn't around. I am, and that's what matters. Final thoughts. I'm not healed. Obviously, I'm healing. And that healing, it's holy, it's sacred, but it's mine. Shouldn't be here. But I am. And that means I still got work to do. So, if you're still fighting, I see you. If you're still struggling, I honor you. If you think it's too late, let me be proof that it's not. One more thing. I never in my life considered myself a writer. I didn't keep journals, didn't write poems, barely ever posted on social media. But I always had this gut feeling like I had something to say, like someone needed to hear it. I just never knew how until now. So now I sit at this keyboard, pouring it all out. Not for attention, not for claps or clicks, but to reach just one person, to save one life, to make one difference. That's all the recognition I need. That's the end of that. Called The Rewritten Path. And I had it up just for one day. And this was the first post I put was this story. And I woke up the next morning and I went straight to the computer and was looking. And it said I had one visitor. And that one person found me organically. And that one person read it, liked it, and left a comment. I may be that one person because, to be honest, I've already written a letter I was sending everyone once the deed was done and set into motion. Yes, I've got enough to probably make a blue whale's heart stop. I'm just tired of the fight, the struggle, and just existing with no life to speak of. And my kids are grown, and basically I'm alone most of the time. So why am I even staying here? If I'm gonna be numb, I could do that dead. But after reading what you had written, it lit a spark in me that I thought had died long ago. So thank you. Never in my life. I mean, I wrote that at the end of it, you know what I mean? Like, that one person, and I found that one person. And in a sea of a billion Facebook things that could have come across his phone that night, mine did. And it's safe. And if that's not divine, I don't know what is. You know? So now, this is my full-time job. I write, and I don't care how many fucking times I cry through it, I'm gonna keep telling these stories, so. Went to the commissary, and then that night, somebody stole all my shit. Went in my locker and stole all my shit. And then next morning, my Sally, which I ain't fucking like that dude from day one.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, I seen them dudes going your shit last night, bro. And he was like, pointing them out, like, yeah, it's them right there. And I knew, like, this was a whole setup. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a whole test. Because if I don't say nothing, then I'm a bitch. And you know what I mean? But if I do, I'm fucked either way. And at this point, I know, like, I'd already been approved for release, I guess you could say, but I was waiting on all of this, and it could take anywhere from a week to 3 months to get out. So I didn't know when I was going to get out. And I'm like, fuck.
But you knew the dude was setting you up, though. You knew he was lying.
I knew it was. Yeah, it was all a finesse. It was all a game. So I'm like, well, fuck it. I know what I got to do. I got to go there and talk to him no matter what.
Yeah.
So I go, and it was white boys too. So my Sally, he run with the black dudes, and it was only, again, probably about a half dozen to maybe 10 white boys in the dorm to begin with. But they had their own little clique, I guess you could call it. I wouldn't really call it a prison gang, but I think they had a name for themselves, whatever. But I walked up to the dude and I was like, man, kind of the situation, my stuff came up missing last night, and some people told me that they point in this direction. I just wanted to see what's up. So then he starts coming at me like, oh no, man, that was your celly, bro. But that's because you on your own. So now you need to come and go with us, or that shit's gonna keep happening. And I'm like, motherfucker. So this is all a finesse game to try to get me to go and
try to get you to give it to him.
Yeah. So I knew I was fucked. So next week come commissary again, same thing happened. Steal my shit again. I'm like, they're just not gonna. I ain't gonna be able to live in there unless something pops off. So now at this point, they really landed on thick. They think, man, dude got a shank, dude gonna fucking get you and shit on this day after chow and all. Like, really, like, fuck, man, I'm just, every fucking time. Every time, you know what I mean? Like, it just gets me every time. But every single time at the last second. So it got to the point to where, it was up. Like, it was either you gonna make your call or shit's about to happen. And that day, I knew. Like, I've been sleeping with my shoes on for like 3 days at this point, in case they tried to sneak me in my sleep or something. Yeah. Which is a horrific, traumatic fucking way to live, thinking back on that feeling. But at this point, I just accepted fate. Like, it is what it is. Like, I'm in this bitch. It's whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. God save me. So I'm just sitting in my bunk, back against the wall, and I'm just watching. I'm staring. They staring at me. I'm staring at them and shit. And people talking. Days going. And then that last child, and waiting on. I think a game was coming on like 7, 8 o'clock. And it's always a big deal with sports in jail, in prison. But I knew after the lights was out, that was it. I'm just sitting there, just thinking, in the zone. Wasn't even thinking. In that moment, like, there was no outside world, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd already been there a couple of years, like, I was institutionalized at that, so I wasn't even thinking about the outside. I'm just sitting there waiting. I was like, whatever fucking happens, happens. Hopefully I survive, or I ain't gotta, kill somebody myself and end up spending the rest of my life in there. Yeah. But then the thing, speaker comes on, yells my name, pack your shit. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm getting released? I'm getting out of this bitch? Holy shit. I jumped up and I said, you can fucking have all of it. I'm stripping the shit off of everybody. Let me get them socks. Fuck out. You can have all this shit. Fuck you. Yeah. And ran out the door. And I was once again saved again. And I always believed that through all of the shit that I went through, and every time I survived, that it was for a bigger reason. You know what I mean? Like, I always had this gut feeling. Yeah. And I spent so many years, 40 years of my life trying to figure it out. And then apparently I write pretty good. And I didn't even know that shit. I just started writing down memories. And
that was after you got out, you started writing about it, right?
Yeah. And I was writing, not to write. I never considered myself a writer. Nothing like that. But I was just writing just to get the thoughts out, you know what I mean? Just trying to help, like, process it. And then it definitely helped, because it allowed a lot of that weight to get lifted off my shoulders. But just the last little piece of that one. So when they went to release me, now I'm in the middle of Louisiana. I mean, 3 hours away from home. It's midnight. They let you out at midnight. Wow, yeah. So they take us out and, like, you got to call somebody to come and get you. Who the fuck's gonna come and get me in the middle of the night? And it's on my birthday.
It's on your birthday.
My birthday, which is in December. Yeah. So I called my dad, and he's like, I don't know what the fuck. I just had to call Uber. So he called Uber and paid like $500 or $600 to send this Uber to come get me. Yeah. Well, they released me. and the Uber comes, and it's this little girl. So I get in, and the first thing I asked her, I was like, did you know where you were going? Like, because she drove from BR to come and get me. I was like, to come pick up. She was like, yeah, well, my husband was in prison for a long time. And when this came through, I told him about it, and he knew coming home, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just knew. He was like, yeah, go get that dude, and before you get there, stop and get a pack of cigarettes and a fucking cheeseburger. I didn't know this girl. The first thing I walk out, she hands me a McDonald's bag with a cheeseburger, and she was like, I hope these are okay, and had some Marlboro Reds. I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
And it started snowing after that, which it don't snow in Louisiana. So the whole ride, she was the coolest chick ever. 3-hour ride home in the snow, eating cheeseburgers, just chain smoking cigarettes. Like, oh my God, I fucking survived again, man. Like, holy shit. I just got lucky again. I don't know. All my life, everybody always called me lucky. You know, and maybe I am, maybe I ain't. But now I just try to take my story and try to use that for good, you know. And if it can help somebody, that's all that matters, you know what I mean?